colleague RK is here. He has done his master's from one of the India's leading institute, IIT Kanpur, and currently he is working for Qualcomm Private Limited in the Hyderabad, and he is working in the field of wireless communication. He has done his master's courses on the wireless communication, and his master thesis was also mostly on the communication part. And currently also in the Qualcomm, he is working in the field of Wi-Fi module and the firmware of that. Okay, so let's discuss with him in the details what are his suggestions are. Okay, so hello, hi RK, good afternoon.
Yeah, hi, Philip.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm also good. So, like, just to go ahead, what are the subjects which you recommend, which are very key in this area of domain of wireless communication?
So, starting from the basics, it is the signal system that is required.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have, so in that signal system, we specifically focus on digital signal processing. So,
Mm-hmm.
that is important for wireless. So,
Mm-hmm.
and in the advanced topic, we have wireless communication, MIMO, and we had a course on 5G simulation. So, that things I did during my college time. That
Okay.
that gives an idea of what work is done in wireless domain itself.
Okay, okay, understood. So basically, as you have mentioned, starting from the signals and systems, and then digital signal processing and wireless communication at the advanced level, and the MIMO basically, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So going ahead, RK, like student wanted to understand what exactly are the topics which you are mentioning in the subject, which are very key in terms of getting into the industry also and getting some hold on these uh, topics or like subject basically.
So in the signal systems, we mostly focus on digital signal processing. So a
Mm-hmm.
lot of Fourier transformations and discrete time processing. So the time domain analysis, then Fourier domain analysis are important in that subject.
Mm-hmm.
Then for communication, we should have a good idea in digital communication, mostly how the encoding happens, how we
Mm-hmm.
transmit data, and what is sampling rate, Nyquist rate, all these things that are related to communication. So that is also important in the communication part. Coming
Mm-hmm.
to the wireless communication, we deal on this practical scenario where we have this multipath interference and all this thing that we face in the modern cellular communication things. So there we
Okay.
study all these things. So as in wireless communication is like a practical system design of how the cellular system works.
Okay.
Coming to the MIMO and OFDMA are the key aspects that are revolving around this 5G and 6G right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
this technology has enhances the communication, cellular communication, and even in the Wi-Fi's these are now in the advanced stage. So like we have different new protocols that are introduced on these key technologies. So these
Okay.
things are important. And coming to means there are a layer of systems in the cellular communication. So if you haven't practiced, so in our college we have a 5G simulation course where we used to study all this 5-layer functionality. So in that we
Mm-hmm.
have a lot of PD chains. So that things we mostly see, and these are the implemented things that are practically done itself in the this domain violation. So these are mostly, and in mathematical aspect, linear algebra and probability are important things.
Okay.
And some topics related to statistical signal processing and estimation and detection theory. These things are also important regarding to the wireless communication.
Okay.
Even for
Okay.
the digital signal processing, also these things are important.
Okay. Understood. Understood. Okay. So these are the brief topics basically, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, RK. So going ahead, like students are more keen to understand what are the key tools you are using in this wireless and signal processing, and what are the projects basically you will be like suggesting to work on to get some hands on basically.
Yeah. So mostly, if you are dealing in the file here, you have mostly to do software simulations. So for
Mm-hmm.
system design, like testing the methods that technologies that like we are using of DMA, MIMO, and all these things, we usually for use MATLAB for simulating all these things because it has a lot of libraries related to cellular wireless communication. So that helps you to use reusable codes in that. So that is one of the good uh, tool that we use. Now
Mm-hmm.
coming to the basic work, we use mostly do in C and C++. So lot of embedded programs are there. So you have to interface with the hardware, interrupts and all these things. So there C++ programming and C programming are mostly because lot of memory utilization you have to figure it out using pointers and
Mm-hmm.
dynamic pointers and all those things. So that things are mostly used. And other than that, tools. So Python tools are also used for mathematical calculation. So we have so Python has a good library related to mathematical. Like we used to have Spider. We use Spider for simulating a lot of so it is all about random things. So we have a lot of random programming in that code. So where
Mm-hmm.
we have random interference, random all these things. So we use these libraries for simulating all the scenarios. So these tools are mostly that are used also in the market also.
Okay. Okay. Understood. Understood. Okay. So, thank you for the tools information and the languages like C, C++, and the Python and other MATLAB and other tools which you have mentioned. Okay. So, in terms of projects, like hands-on projects, which will be helping the students to build their resumes and build their and then understand some of the key uh, subjects or the topics basically. So, what are the project titles you recommend to the students?
So specifically means the system is very complex. What I see. So it's not like you'll be able to implement the end-to-end thing. But
Exactly.
yeah, so lot of things are in practical aspect. Lot of things are there. We only work. So whatever theoretical works we do is on ideal cases. Like
Mm-hmm.
practically, we have lot of cells, stars in the environment. But
Mm-hmm.
even we do simulation on, so whatever theoretical things that we implement for we calculate the bit error rate or the signal to interference ratio or the capacity of the channel. So in that
Mm-hmm.
scenario, I did so in my MIMO communication. We had a
Mm-hmm.
project where we analysis two cell system where we have a two-star system and we calculate the inter and inter symbol interference. So these are theoretical derivatives. We first derive this mathematically, these theoretical things, and then we
Mm-hmm.
implant this thing in the code to analysis the theoretical and the practical aspect. For practical aspect in senses like you, so for analysis, we have a noise that is a Gaussian noise. But when you program this, you take a sample of it value and start programming and getting the average of it and calculating this. So these things I did in my like projects also. And
Mm-hmm.
related to DSP, a lot of things are there like Fourier transform and all this thing we use for correcting noise. So if you want to remove noise from a time series signal, you use Fourier transformation and all this thing. So these small projects are there, but coming to a very major project in cellular company, it need a lot of guidance in that. So
Okay.
theoretical impact only you have to use, but only in in just creating a scenario of a random thing and
Mm-hmm.
then utilizing that will help you to make it more understandable that your theoretical curves and the practical curves are aligning. So that I did mostly. In the PDCH chain means this is a physical design chain that we did on 5G communication. That is used itself in the cellular communication. So there are a lot of blocks before sending the data in the file. So
Mm-hmm.
there we did a project in the PDCH. We implemented all the blocks, like whatever
Mm-hmm.
blocks are like scramblers, LDPC coding, and whatever
Mm-hmm.
rate matching, CRC check, and these things were there in the blocks. So once you have this theoretical knowledge, you will get to know that how to use this for implement in the and just to code it out and check it what's the result and all this thing. So this all the thing I did in the project itself.
Okay. So these kind of things, if students
Yeah.
implement, then they will get
Yeah,
to know about the topics also, and then
yeah.
exactly what matters basically.
Yeah, they will see the practical impact of why we use Fourier transform, why it's not done, why we are not able to correct things in noise in the time domain, but in the Fourier domain we can
Mm-hmm.
just refine it out. So these things you can use do with the simpler simulations also. So, but you'll
Mm-hmm.
get a good understanding on that. But mostly first theoretical part should be clear, then only you can implement this in the simulation part.
Okay, okay, okay. Understood, understood. That is very good. Then now going ahead, like you appeared for the job interviews also, and now you are working in the industry from last 1 year. So how is your experience, and then what is the preparation one should be doing for applying for the jobs in the wireless communication field? So can you tell about that?
Okay, so whatever courses I told, subjects I told that are important for, so that will give you about the wireless communication domain itself. So that will
Mm-hmm.
help you in the interview itself. That is directly proportional to that interviews, how it will happen.
Mm-hmm.
So in the interview, they mostly focus on first starts with the mathematical things like linear algebra and probability are one of the most important topics they ask. So
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of linear algebra and probability things are done in the wireless communication itself. So that is one thing. Now, then they will ask about DSP. DSP is a very important topic about Fourier transformation and sampling, Nyquist rate, why we do, why it is important in the wireless communication, cellular communication. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so these are things are very important. Thirdly, they have in the wireless communication there are a lot of analysis means like lot of little practical analysis in that how to mitigate inter symbol interference and
Mm-hmm.
concepts like MIMO and OFDMA. These are mostly
Mm-hmm.
important in the wireless communication because they are the key of new generation communications. So these they ask. They don't ask so advanced but they ask basics but they have means there lot of tricks are there in it means lot of case scenarios are there that you should be aware of it that will help uh,
Okay.
apart from that basic programming you should know
Mm.
related to C++ or C pointers and all these things that are used for implementation so
Mm-hmm.
these may be the mostly things
Okay.
other than that, they can ask related to some OS things also like interrupts and all these things. Sometimes they ask, but mostly the interviews goes on these topics that are the core subjects itself.
Okay. Okay. Understood. Understood. Okay. So apart from this, you as you have mentioned in the discussion, something about the case scenarios. So what exactly that means?
Yeah. So in the estimation and detection theory, means it's a course where we
Mm-hmm.
have a lot of study over scenario detecting symbols like detecting signals so so that signal comes from in over the air so that has
Mm-hmm.
noise in it so how to detect that signal so we have a different approach over detecting that signal using hypothesis so that scenarios are there and estimation of the signals are also one of the thing that we so you have a signal it get buried in some noise now you have to estimate that signal so you use a different approach like these master students generally know these terms LMMSE, MMSE, and
Mm-hmm.
then ML estimate and all these things. So these
Mm-hmm.
scenarios are practically used in wireless communication also. Means we have blocks of blocks in the hardware itself that calculate these things. For
Oh.
even for channel estimation also we have SVD, ML estimate, LMMSE, MMSE. So all these blocks are there itself in the hardware. So these
Mm-hmm.
things help you to get more idea of how these are means basically scenarios, but cellular has lot of scenarios, means it's not
Okay.
countable in terms.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Understood, understood. Okay.
Yeah.
So now, like going ahead, I wanted to understand in the wireless communication, what are the job roles are available in the market? Like, what are the departments? Like, for example, in the VLSI, if you just talk about from the like top level, it is analog VLSI, digital VLSI, physical design, or some of the RTL design, or testing, or design validations kind of thing. So
Yeah.
kind of that, what is there for the wireless communication people basically in the
Okay.
industry?
Okay. So So layer-wise departments are also there. Like I work in 5 layer. So 5 layer has mostly the implementation of related to so that is the last layer in the cellular communication where we do the all the encoding and processing all that, making it so whatever modulation you are using, whatever scheme you are using for transmitting, that is one domain that is we call as a firmware engineer. So
Mm-hmm.
that is one of the profile. We
Mm-hmm.
have testing profiles also where we test different scenarios. So there is test teams also in the company. So all the communication companies have some test teams that simulate all these scenarios. So they test all these algorithms. We
Mm-hmm.
have Mac team that works on Mac layer. So scheduling all these things are done in Mac team. So
Mm-hmm.
these three teams are there, and there are 5 RF teams that are at the end that are for enhancing that energy and boosting things. So
Mm-hmm.
these things are there. So there are a layer of blocks that are there. So for every blocks there is expertise, but overall, whatever from the fresher they need is like this general knowledge of it. Whatever
Mm-hmm.
in the subjects I told.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, you'll get these things only. Mostly, it's in Qualcomm where I work. We have systems team, firmware team,
Mm-hmm.
and the test team. So mostly systems teams are responsible for designing the algorithms so that enhances the performance of the communications. Firmware team is use that algorithms and implement in the practical aspect because they work on theoretical parts only.
Correct.
Firmware used on so how the board gets calibrated, all these things are done with firmware. And for
Mm-hmm.
testing, we so the test teams test all this. Uh, Whatever algorithms we have implemented. So these they all think three go by hand by hand. So
Oh,
these things are there in the file as well.
okay, okay, understood. So basically, the physical firmware design and then testing part and the system design basically.
Yeah,
So these are the
yeah.
three
Mostly
one.
we can classify on these things.
Yeah, yeah. Mostly we can classify. Okay,
Yeah.
understood. And then, what are the like opportunities available in the market, like for the wireless communication people, or like mostly people like they will come in my touch. They say like we mostly have to move to the VLSI domain itself or something like that. But then is that true thing or like it is just saying what you say about it?
Okay. So on that aspect, I can say means lot of companies are not there in wireless communication. That is true. That works on
Okay.
wireless communication, but there are ample of opportunities in wireless also because wireless works on embedded itself. So
Mm,
embedded profiles are also there for wireless communication because you work on hardware it blocks only. Whatever implementation are you doing that are implanted in the hardware block only. So that
mm,
work you get to know in the wireless communication itself. So that is
mm,
one profile people switch. If so, only the part is changes is like there you are working on the wireless things, but in the
mm,
other profile, there are IoT embedded. Now, some
mm,
other firmware, so related to CPU embedded, some working are there. So only the hardware block get changes, but the process of programming things are same. Only the
mm,
documentation changes that how this hardware will work. They have other things to be handled out.
mm,
So,
mm.
but overall, there are a lot of opportunity in wireless also because you'll get a lot of idea about hardware and firmware in this. So that is so it's all about the interest that you want to pursue.
Mhm.
But
O-
core wireless companies are less that I can
Okay,
say. But there
okay,
even there is good things in the wireless communication.
okay, understood. And then like now, how much is the gap you feel whatever you have learned and then what you are working on as of now, as a physical file layer basically, and then firmware engineer. So how is that gap is, and then what kind of upgradation you have to do in terms of working?
Okay. So so there is always a gap between academics and the company's work culture. So
Mm-hmm.
in academics, we mostly focus on theoretical aspects, how this came into picture, how we are using it. But in the companies, there are means lot of complications are there in the practical aspects, how it is getting implemented. This gap is always there. and
Mhm.
that goes down after you work in some company only, because you don't, so they every company has different sets of instructions and different sets of protocol they follow. So,
Mhm.
but you have an idea of that technology things, theoretical thing, that it will help you in doing the practical aspects as well. So that is
Mhm.
always a interlinked thing. So uh, that is just a learning part of how you implement it, because here we actually cater our customers. That that
Yes.
is that is for practical use. That has to be done correctly because it is in day-to-day use. They, and the academics, we study the concept that make these things drive. So
Mhm.
that will so the company gives an idea about how practical work is there, and the academics gives the understanding of how we are using, why you are using all this stuffs in the practical.
Understood. Understood. Then now, like coming to the next point, is like, RK, do you find like what are the entry points in the industry for this wireless communication? Like, do you see students are pursuing this testing or PI design or the system design after their bachelor's, or for that you should have the masters only, and then in the masters also it should be from the premium institutes like IIT Kanpur, as you are there, or like the other institutes like central universities, and then another second or third tier universities who are doing their masters, or that entry is possible, or what exactly it is?
Okay. So on that aspect, means basically it revolves around the knowledge that you are gathering about. So if you want to enter into the field, you have to get this all this knowledge. And these knowledge are basically now all it's available in the YouTube, and courses are there. But earlier these things were not that much in the in the market itself. So people used to do masters in it. So masters we study specifically for these things. So that
Correct.
helps. Masters helps us. But even
Mhm.
though means after BTech also, if you study all this thing and try for a company,
Mhm.
so if you know things, they don't care about that thing.
Oh.
So that is the thing. And for the premium institute, yeah, you'll get a little bit more opportunity there. Means it's easily approachable, that companies, that good companies are coming for that core things. But for
Mhm.
in off campus and all, you'll it takes time. But I think patience helps.
Okay, understood,
Yeah.
understood. And like RK, like have you seen around you now? You are in the Qualcomm, and then you know the industry now. So, like, did you see any examples of students coming from the bachelor's and working in your field, or a student coming from the masters, but then second tier, and then third tier universities? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
have you seen such kind of examples, or how
Yeah,
is
yeah,
it?
yeah. Lot of people are there who are working on that. They are good at their work, and so they come to they have some past experience in some other companies. Sometimes their past experience also helps. Like if you worked on some embedded things before, so
Uh-huh.
it's very easy for you to switch to wireless communication, because you just need to get the documents of the wireless, how wireless communication works. So that help you switch. But I have seen lot of in hardware also. I have seen lot of people who attend by BTech from somewhere. In our team also, BTech are there who works then. But it's only about the knowledge that you have. Whatever they require, if you have that thing, then it is easy for you to get it.
Mhm. Okay. And
Yeah.
what exactly they require, the industry requires?
Uh, for if you are coming to the core wireless, then you
Mhm.
need the wireless communication knowledge. That is the most important thing. And whatever courses revolve around this wireless communication, that are from the basics to the advanced things, that you
Mhm.
have to be known things, like whatever I mentioned in the subject itself, that covers
Yeah.
all the topics. So that are the entry level things that they ask. If you know
Okay.
that things, then if you get an opportunity, they will mostly focus on that aspects. So that is
Mhm.
the only requirement for getting into this domain.
Okay, okay, okay. Understood, understood. Okay, so now we are at the end of this discussion, RK. And then, like, I wanted to more know about, like the you said, no, the embedded system profiles can go into the wireless, and then they just have to upgrade in terms of the knowledge about the wireless thing. So, what are the kind of ways to go here and there and switching your job roles basically, and how the experience also matters in all these matters? So if you have any real industry like insights, now you also have explored in these ways. So can you share that kind of knowledge?
Yeah. So, like, if you want to switch from embedded to wireless, embedded give you a experience of how hardware and software interface works. So
Mm,
that you already know it. Now you have only thing to be studied in what wireless blocks have. In
mhm,
wireless communication, what blocks are doing. Like for channel estimation, we have different blocks like SVD, MIMO, MMSC, all these things we do. So these blocks are
mhm,
there in the hardware itself. So how their
mhm,
functionality. At the end, whatever we are doing in the theoretical aspect has to be coded into the board itself so that they can
mhm.
analysis. So that is just a transaction from the embedded to wireless. For wireless people who want to go in embedded, they have the knowledge of the interface between hardware and software. So only
Mm,
the hardware block just changed there itself in the embedded. Now you are not work. So that block is catering some other purpose. So
mhm,
only that thing. Other than that, whatever hardware software interface is there, we get interrupts. Then we have some
mhm,
ISR callbacks. Whatever OS related things that we do practically,
mhm,
that are there itself in there. So these all things are common in wireless and embedded itself. So
mhm.
that help you to just easily move from these in between these two domains because a lot of people from wireless go to the IoT domain.
Oh,
These
okay,
things are there.
okay, okay. And then like communication networks and that kind of subjects also you have to
Yeah.
explore, I guess.
Yeah, these
Mm,
things, yeah, you if you want to go specific into core, you need to explore that subject, what they exactly know. That
mm,
is the uh, basically the basic thoughts of programming that what you did. But core, if you want to go into that core, you need to know that core, what it is the code is doing. So that you
mm.
have to add on extra on that so that you can know how it works.
Okay, 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 understood. And what about the experience? And then what is the 2, 3 years experience people are doing? What are the trends? Like if you have any idea, you can share.
Okay, so in the entry level, you join as an engineer himself.
Mm-hmm,
So there you mostly work on dev part, like there are a lot of some modifications goes on there. So that
mm-hmm,
things you works and a lot of debugging things also you work. That in the practical aspect, lot of problems comes during
mm-hmm,
the du during the that the customer is using. So that
mm-hmm,
mostly things you figure out because before giving marketing that thing we need to resolve all the problems that we face during the testing. So that thing we mostly work. Uh,
mm-hmm,
in if you work for 2 3 years, you'll get to senior engineer, and then it goes on like that for lead and stuff, all this thing. So as you go up, you will move more broader into it. Now, if you are working on some singular block, and that block get expanded, so you will be working on bigger blocks. So these things go expanded on. At a certain, like 6 7 years, you will be handling a target itself. So target is like whatever chip. So someone use the. So we heard about Wi-Fi 6, Wi-Fi 7, Wi-Fi 8 like things. So these
okay,
Wi-Fi 6 is a different packet type only. So like
mm-hmm,
Wi-Fi 7 is different packet type. So you will be governing, you will be owning that all the things that are there. So this
oh,
ownership get expanded in every how experience how you get experience. That is the
oh,
mostly step on this.
okay, 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 understood,
Yeah.
understood.
And
And
it
then
also
like,
comes with the manager thing also means you will be managing people also to work on different blocks because all blocks are integrated. So you will be at the outer of the block and you will be monitoring all the blocks inside it, how it is working.
mm-hmm,
So this goes on when you get more experience and you will be given responsibility with more bigger blocks to be governed by under you.
okay, okay. Understood, understood, RK. So then, like now going ahead, I have one question which I wanted to ask you. Like many people in the wireless communication who are in touch with me, mostly they pursue the PhD paths and then postdoc basically. But then you have chosen to go into the industry after your masters, and you have completed your masters from IIT Kanpur, which is very much famous for the signal processing domain, right? But then what exactly is your thought process? Why you have chosen the industry compared to the PhD? What are the pros and what are the cons, basically, from your point of view only? It may vary people to people, but then I
yeah,
wanted to understand your point of view.
yeah. So, coming to this, so why I pursue that engineering? Because I was interested in the practical aspects. One of the reasons is, and so the only what from my perception, what is the difference between PhD and working people is like PhD works on the technology itself. They work on the advancement of the technology, while the
Mm,
work while the corporate peoples work on implementing that thing. So so that is the difference I classify between that. Uh,
okay.
uh, so I was more focused on practical as when I was interested in this embedded profile and wireless too. So I was more keen to get into this practical aspect, how it works and all this thing. So that's why I
Mm,
was uh, joined this corporate thing. Uh,
mm,
PhD is also a good option because it gives you a lot of opportunities in the uh, exploring domain, like so whatever new technologies are there, lot of analysis are done by PhD itself. They have a
mm,
lot of analysis. So PhD also join companies after completing their PhD once they achieve their uh, knowledge in that domain. So it is more advanced over what you are studying there in the
mm,
PhD aspect. And in the corporate world, it is more advanced how you implement that thing. So
okay.
as you grow with that corporate in the company, as you keep on working on the company, you get to know more about the practical aspects, how it
Mm,
functions in the practical aspect. And for PhD, it is like more over the technology advancement that is coming. So
mm.
these things are there. So
Understood, understood. Okay. And what was the trend? Like you had your other batchmates also. So what exactly they are doing? Like they are pursuing the PhD, or how many people, or how much percentage that going to the PhD and going to the industry, and then how much are not yet placed, or like what is that trend basically?
for my friends, I think most of them are placed only.
Okay.
Whoever opted for doing corporate work.
Mm-hmm.
So they are placed in different domains. Like some of them got placed in wireless itself. Some of them were interested in hardware VLSI, so they got in placed VLSI domain also.
Mm-hmm.
Some got placed in power also. Power, there was someone interested.
Uh-huh.
So some are in embedded also. So diverse profiles are there. Some are in ML profile also. ML and signal processing profile also are there. So these things
Mm-hmm.
are, and some have pursued PhD also from the foreign universities also, and in the college in the India and some of the best premium colleges. So they are
Mm-hmm.
exploring over the whatever domain they have selected for, like if it is a ML profile or a signal
Mm-hmm.
processing profile or the thing. So
Mm-hmm.
so they have lot. So I have a very diverse friend circle. So
Yeah.
means I can't justify that why they choose that, but they liked it, they pursued it. So
Mm-hmm.
one of my friend is in IC itself. He joined the PhD there. It's there only.
Okay. Okay, okay. Understood, understood. Okay.
Yeah,
So it totally depends on from the
yeah.
wireless application
Interest.
of masters, they go into the different sectors of the industry,
Yeah,
hardware, and then I embedded, and then core, and then ML also they can go. And
yeah,
otherwise, they are pursuing their PhD from the foreign universities or some of the prestigious universities in the
yeah,
India.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Who have an interest over getting more knowledge, means getting more into it, they try to do
Mhm.
PhD. That is a
Okay.
good thing.
Okay, understood. Understood, RK. So now we are at the end of the discussion. Thank you for your time, and thank you for all the guidance and the insights you have provided. And what is the one advice if you wanted to go give to the students? Like you have that, if you want to have anything.
So I'll give an overview of it. Like whatever domain you are choosing, you should first get aware of what things are going on there. That is one thing. Uh,
Mhm.
And one perception I have that any domain that you are choosing, that is what even if it is hardware or software, you have one
Mhm,
software simulator everywhere. So you should
mhm,
know the tools that are used in that domain itself for simulating because you don't implement everything in hardware and check it like that. So
mhm,
basic programming, you should know things. That is
mhm,
important. And core knowledge about whatever you are doing, that is enough to go into any domain.
mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah. Thank you very much, RK, and have a nice day, and see you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.